your fears. I know your worries, insecurities. But I was there too, but dived into myself, plucked any strength, transcendent, and did something decent with my soul. You're smarter, wiser, truthfully speaking. Not here to tell you what's wrong or to correct, not even to argue or take what I want. No longer that person. I feel you know what the right thing to do with your life is. Who to be, how to live it. It's burning like a Roman candle. You see, like how stars disperse over the night sky, each glance hope. It's like the sun rising. The void is not knowing how to apply it, achieve, live it out. Maybe me coming into your life is a divine intervention, destiny, fate. Who knows? When it comes to life, the violent hurt that is parting from it. Take this moment as something more. Push forward, use it, don't drift, don't run, go towards as you part. There is nothing I can say that can truly express what I want to say. Take this time to recover. Take this time to be alone. Look at me as someone that has escaped the jail you feel you're in. Don't give in to fears. Don't be a victim. You're fresh from the breakup. Second guessing. Doubt. All that comes with it. It's normal. Perhaps my form figure is for you to see. To what you see of me, I know I was like this at one point. The voices inside telling not to do, the negative talk, listen, don't buy into it. Trust you. You will get out. Be on that other side of the process. I'm named Prince because of my bloodline. Touched my body, tasted my lips, touched my heart, entered my soul. To bear witness to my shades, it's a slow burn in experience, but it gets finer with time. Yearning eyes finally seeing destiny unveil right in front of us. When we're alone, fear is overwhelming. Our natural states take a hold. This process is a moment. Remember what happens in reality to what we ideally want. The process of being an individual will become. Look inside my internal life. Your search of being oneself will not end by being with me. Sit with my words. Ponder on what I'm aiming to speak of. Know what I am. Know what I'm looking for. Know that a conjure of what dreams are. Achieved. Take this time to sit with yourself. Will never end. No, I'm not here to block you. Recover from recent events. You don't have to hide. I got to thank someone for still living. Don't follow my fate. In a hostile mood, try to change my past in vain, while I yearn to mold my future in a carefree breeze. Roll me a blunt, pass me a brew, hanging on the corner, kicking dust with the older ones, been warned not to hang out with Serbs, but they never talked loyalty, just acted on it, so they got me when they need me. Burn the beef, hustling till dawn, drinking liquor, wish it would make the woman come quicker. Tummy full of food, spitting game, feeling good like I wanted to. Pulling a 9 when they diss, driving drunk, so take it easy. I want the fame and fortune, so it means I'll be burning in hell when I die, before I go broke again. I'll be a prostitute. Still they make wrong choices when they marry, so I take advantage. make a phone call, and be back to my ball by lunchtime. Junkies aren't like me, 'cause I'm making means, money in pocket, finger on the trigger, so I ain't having it. Shame, it's only an emotion. Addicted to idealism, sober in my clean time now, distance from running a pose of paranoid drug dealers, no longer stretching my soul while being crutched on the couch. I dipped, I escaped, I sought personal salvation and found personal revolution in waves of revelations, unable to transfer sensations into articulated words. Deeper the despair, reality is more vivid. Closer to grief, the more love is valued. Luminous words formatted with clear conscious of vivid strokes of the hands. A shame that it didn't get the results as one desired. I wanted healing, so I looked at your eyes, but I was born with the floor to fall. To poetry, poor writing it, rich in culture. Be peaceful, be humble, speak the truth, never lie. Not everyone will love you. I support truth in that I confess I'd rather be immortal and forget everyone I've ever met. When it's love, remember I, you, us, to who I love, I go beyond cherishing them. I spoil them till they're exhausted. A love is a love, absurd and real, phony and fake. For its worth, its yearning, regret, illumination, and painful. To a poem, I can say whatever I want, but often with regret, for it's something I don't say in a previous moment. The irony of feeling we've all felt horrible. Sorrow in my heart, created by my tragic hands, burdened with eternal loneliness. I had sold my soul in order to write poetry, to look what my hands have done, crying to the moon, bruising my heart back to the start with sorrow in my heart. To what is binding me up, dries me out. To when I'm tired, the only poem I can write is, it's easier to suffer than it is to love. Love is in the wait. Suffering is in the now. Writing into poetry, anything can be, but as I look back on the past, it's there and never leaving. To I wish not all of it, not everyone there was a part of it. To I yearn to write on love and not vent. When in love without a lover, all one can do is write poetry. Talking over one's heart. As a romantic, I've got a hunger to a substance, to something that isn't available to me. Now I'm dispelling everything into poetry. There's no profit in poetry, but poetry's golden culture, admired by everyone, envied by philosophers, admired from afar. Contentment to, I know you're there. I wish you were here, to fly with you, to get high with you. I embrace you when I can, till you let go. Then I repeat contentment. Never again are you alone. Still, a couple times or more, I can never understand how people could ever continue to disregard the damage done. By listening to a heart's voice, with lengthy mournings, no comfort in stranger's face, losing control, even the embellishment of the mind. We're not James Dean. Translating, we can never be young and reckless forever, even if it's forever wasted on the youth. We can embrace, be aware, attempt to heal, but that eternal loneliness, those permanent holes in one's life, will never go. Will never be cured. Glory under silence is pointless. Don't puff out your chest. Come alive. Use a vest. Fire back. Poetry intended to be written over heaven, but it's everlasting in hell. Eternity to eternity, shadows without a face. Never mind if I left, tell your friends. Natural causes is a serial killer. Discoloring of magic, paganism, it ain't even Easter. Scene 1, coming out crying, not on the stage. I found myself at a table with divas and bunnies, with their dealers, pimps and bankers. I'm on the guest list. Give me a bourbon and vodka, 'cause it's how they wanted. Mortal wrenching, easy to commit to vice than virtue. Wordless language in both morals and evil. To see their one facial expression, to feel their pain. I'm sorry we can't talk. I'm sorry we can't reassure. I'm sorry we can't exchange concerns and make an effort for laughter and smiles. Poetry, a clear tint of muggy emotions. I write here what I want to say. I wish I could sit and listen, chatting and spilling out loves of interest. I regret we can't spend time together, not actively seeking our interest. I regret that I can't write you poetry to see you smile over it, to help paint a path to see beauty in you. I regret that you won't do the same for me. It's always two-way. Struggle to be better, struggle not spending time together. Times like this, I just want to say that I won't make you happy. Because I know you're sad. I know you've got dreams and hopes. I wish I could and witness you doing it yourself. One mistake can change a lot. Though what happens when we never amend? We had thought without thinking, then acted on the same lines. It's not wisdom. You feel alone, you feel personal pain, sensory overload, and feel the weight of the world. I may be cliché, I may be melodramatic, attending to my intense emotions, luminous and free, painful and curse-like, liberty I wanted, but it's freedom from myself to what I need. Hope to be together real soon, writing, trying to come up, but keep making mistake, broke on the smoke, then you know how I feel. Poetic boys, don't let him catch you slipping, don't get hurt. The depth of one's love, the depth of wounds of later moments. It's contraband, can't feel anything. When will I learn? The shame is coming, with eyes wide open, holding on to dear life. I should have stayed calm, but I'll run into self-destruction when in vulnerability, asking question to what's the matter. When it gets real, I'll sabotage. When I push away, I want to say sorry, but silence is the reply, wishing I could let people inside. When I see someone with the heart of a soldier, with the brains to teach a whole nation, I want to lay until the sun rises. The essence of a muse, nothing else I'll put into frame and display with such shame than the totality of my own flaws, and left lonely. Whoever said the struggle stopped today? Mystics get shot every day, while they've got money for war but can't feed the poor. I'm obsessed with satisfying with creative temperament to a dormant and quiet people. Feels that no one can escape both of my own dualities. Straight from the start, speaking the truth, even if it's hate in return, spitting from dark. It's poetic after the show, one sits alone and ignored. Late nights, bright lights, lust and lies, loading in the limousine with people's hands but no one's giving out. Can I really blame people for trying to get what they can? I might lose my soul, but who knows what I'll find. I'm blessed to know another, hoping in return I can do the same. I create myself at my own detriment, got stepped on, got ignored. I've been abandoned, witnessed, experienced, and acted upon violence in silence. Got tired of being held down. I'll create myself, even if it means I'll be hellbound. make mistakes, it's hard not to regret them. I've heard melodies that sing the truth, so I listened and can't switch off. When you're someone who's in development, a lot of hatred is coming. People either spoil you or you spoil them, and I thought I was tripping when they rolled by the second time. I swear, I know the ones who's going to, it's all a game, die like a star, mystical poet, die like a star. Wish I was there, placing rules on incitations, wanting those to enroll. I crave to be breaking free in total liberty, while mystics starve. Nothing's fair in this game of life. Got to live your life before you lose your life. Got a mind, got to use. Don't be a fool and join their class. Wake up, mystics, and be clear. Don't be a slave to this game called fear. Don't be a victim. There's a lot more wisdom on that other side, while those break all the rules. Tell me, who's the biggest gang in the city? Why is every move I make turn into something I exhaust? Come creep with me. It's time to transcend life. You know I can keep a secret. The snake, the rat, the dog, the cat. How can I see them if I'm living in the fog? Light them up, a letter to my future self. I keep driving forward, but I keep falling. I'm out of place, never, as they say, right size. I'm always behind, always ahead. There's a part of us that doesn't like to think about our own mortality. When life is normal, life is feeling good. Then in pain we realize how much our life is wasted. When life is normal, it's not what we've done, but what we care about. We regret what we cared about, whether it's something petty, work, other people, global concerns. Cannot continue to live as if I'm going to live forever. Knowing is not only enough. I must know how to apply it. It's always now. No matter the yearning need to plan for the future, the angst, the wandering of it, any anticipation. The more I value of the external, the less I value of myself. The reality of my own life is always now. If my emotions isn't attached, perhaps I cannot be liberated. The past is merely only a memory, something to be taught. I often flee from something important. Dramatic art is life. It just cut out the mundane, the in-between moments. It's something in times that I didn't know what to do with. Conversations in cafes, reading books on philosophy, witnessing conversations throughout history. While I can gain new experiences, the self will always elude from me. Discovering clean time. I'm left with myself. I passed the time by reading books, watching film. I spent time in utter isolation. I was afraid to think, to look at myself, to explore and to know intimately of my character. In duration of living, I cannot be some other guy. An altruistic principle an individual must have, the value of themselves. I wasted a lot of time acting on things, more so acting out, whether it's pornography, giving into avoidance, resisting learning, sleeping in. These might seem common problems. The next line might be somewhat selfish or egotistical, but it's some of the problems I experience and inherit. To when anyone notice to what makes me, me. I cherish and go overboard. I give in to thoughts, allow a sensation to believe that I have arrived. Opening more than a book, and in today's threading moments, I live for something meant for tomorrow. I forget about being patient or perhaps scarred my fears of being abandoned. I cherish my cigarettes, even now, and all the self-knowledge of my addictions. It's a comfort. It never argues or talks back. How long can a good thing last? I'm not advocating anyone else. My anxiety is silent until I act on it. And it's sad. It's not the inability to accept no or to be in the present, but I forget to do so. It's never another's fault. It's always mine. Some people are different. Where could one ever fit in? Going about anywhere must be more than something than being in an aesthetic aloofness. I've noticed the narrative of life, where philosophers argue about and as poets try to sum up moments in words. Still, no matter the courage, I can never fully open up on the things I need to heal and to improve upon. I cannot always find what it is to know, despite the amount of time I put into learning on both the internal and the external. So far, that urge to understand everything won't fade. I know and do my best to accept the most adult thing I'll ever do: vanish. I worry. I set high goals, wants, romantic desires, creative yearnings, and the wanting of being totally left alone. It's often and common shared yearning to live out a better existence, a better quality. Spending time at a worthwhile job where it not only offers something personalized to my private wants, but actually contributes to reality. While spending my leisure time not only improving myself, but to spend time enjoying myself without that bothering need to be better than yesterday. To spend time with those who do more than just love me, but in utter understanding without our flaws, worries, insecurities. A discovering of another person is often frightening. For who has previously experienced the totality of my flaws? There is something special inside of you, like a muse. Whether it's believed or not, the exertion of my will is the presentation of my insecurities at the thought of knowing my current place. The bohemian idea believes in the permanence of humanity's imperfection. They resign themselves to a regime in which the good will be a result of numberless actions, and never the object of a conscious choice. My issue with personal doctrine, it's too easy to react to those external experiences and often adapt to it, rather than intense introspection and apply prior. Therefore, I can only experience my own life, devote myself to myself, do the best to allow all selfish desire to drip and replace with humility, elevated on a drive private to myself, not even spoken in the confessionals. Exposing myself to various people is so vital. What to learn from, what not to be. Astonishing to know I'll end up self-destructing again, running wild with impatience. Self-realization of disgust to know my own emotions and thoughts that don't solely belong to me. Thinking in a language I didn't invent, experience reality that I had no say over. I build walls up because I don't live around water. I can't project my own character anywhere. I can only be humble in morals, initiate conversations, make an effort to be part of another's life, and hope I'm safe enough to know the other and let them in. Amateurs always drink veterans' piss. I won't play the victim when I discover the defects of others. I can only be patient, and if I get to do time in silence, I'll be back better than yesterday. With no eyes dilated, wiser thoughts, and hopefully a six-pack. Without envy and jealousy, I know my own defects of character will turn my friends into foe. Reckless, insatiable, deceptive, clingy, vain, dismissive, trivial, violent, tactless, controlling, impractical, fearful. Think of one example in my own past where I exhibited each of these traits. Whatever memory comes to my mind will always provide myself with clear illustration. Know that I have the capacity to exhibit all defects. I'm not myself, so leave me alone, leave me lonely. Every second I endure my defect, a part of me dies, because I cause it to die, like plucking a flower head. The melodramatic struggles to part from all serious poetics, extreme nature, meticulous melodramatic, soft, vicious, tender, horrific, poetic, dull. Internal landscape trying to escape, lost in translation, anxiety and full of misunderstandings. Not all are like this. It's unfortunate too how many locals there are, and through experience, how disappointing they are. In experience of it all. Though endure my angst, make mistakes, express so poorly, it's tearing me up inside. Their life can't hit refresh. I don't think it actually steamed of anything, just born with it. Though the more consciousness I gained, the stronger it became. Some types of people highlighted more of it. Some stream of threads sparked stronger insecurities. It's really no one's fault. It would prevent genuine feelings to come out or the ability to articulate it. It allows tremendously jealous angst wasting time. I gave it permission not to permit actual life experience, suffered thoughts. I embellish and think I'm completely severed from everyone, leaving me unfilled and always lost in thought. Never learned or taught myself to sit back, observe, that it's okay in a humble way to internalize reactions hostile to life. Everyone I love, I seem to do wrong by. Just leave me alone, leave me lonely. Two extremes, everyone I dislike. I give love, I want everything or nothing at all. Rub my tummy, then tell someone else, waiting patiently to be catching me slipping. Why I'm quitting. Recently, over the last few months, I've been peddling interest in others, a product that never improves, causes depression and gives false illusion. But there's money in it. I know it wasn't good for me, but I couldn't stop myself. Now, in sadder times, I'm relieved. Advertising is based on one thing: happiness. Happiness to the external, which cannot be touched or owned. It can't be seen through. Everyone is born without permission. It's the same with dying. The subconscious is more likely just yearning for freedom without fear, worry, insecurity. Since creation, humanity has searched for deities, or at least immortality here on earth. If you're the environment, the peers, the family, job, whatever is fulfilling, dropping a bunch of rules on you, you're there for them. Stop asking for change to meet halfway. Trust me, reality is indifferent. One can only change themselves. It's not on anything I just mentioned. In modern times where hard work, originality, developing oneself isn't valued, all my life, I hustled all night. Here is a small list of flaws that I'm unable to shake alone. Insecurity, clingy, desperation for genuine people, praise for artistic works, a perchance to dramatics, impulse, reacting. And when I find someone who is generally who I'm looking for, it's heavily sparked. Like my issues with addiction, I can't stop till it's burnt. As for those, they do anything to be by your side. 'Cause they said anything to do so, and often it's justifications for the wrong they do. People often tell one narrative so you can avoid noticing who they are actually. Change doesn't come from the outside, no matter how much good one can contribute. No matter the glittering allure, the sentimental engagement. At times, it is best to let go and forget, move or charge forward. The dead get tons of flowers because of regret. But for those who know to some degree, might even encourage to take my own advice here, I have. There's a twinge in my heart, and those who end up saying something more likely are unable to put in effort to change themselves. After all, it's harder, harsher, more challenging, hellish than the daily pain they experience in their daily life. It's shocking to how much one can change. To the understanding of poetry, lonely, neurotic at times, often drunk. How could anyone see in their eyes? Condemned from such an early age, destitute wanderer that ties to any community or peer is wholly severed, make me feel. Nightmarish outlets define death, forthcoming action is going to be the undoing of all. The pain inside, share it with me. It's relentless, isn't it? With unwarranted reputation to be only romantic, merely morbid. Stop holding one's breath. Poetry bangs out more than street fame. Poems intend to be contributions, invaluable insight to one's subconsciousness, to which most forlorn, rather provide justifications to their own actions. I started off with an adolescent dream, ending on narcotics and prostitution, then developed what you see here. But all the gypsies love it, just to see one of us making it. Though, I wish I could part, forgetting my personal past, when yourself, where the fuck is the respect? Young and coming up, it's like one's being ignored. How can I even be young? I don't even exist. Look what I made for you. First come in, they try to play you, make some money. Look how they smile and wave to you. From a petty crime, walking into my first meeting with $5, building on faith with no blank canvas. A creative heart now, obsessed on satisfying not only my own heart, but ones that belong to another. Though at times is extreme isolation, it often feels like no one can ever accept me. Bright lights, lust and lies, everything goes under the red neon signs. Though most things generally do, speaking truth as I see it, in hope someone will hear, but only I spit it to the dark. When you're hot and everyone is smiling, it's all eyes on me. Flossing with the pretty girls, high fives, free shit, though when the joy runs out, you're ignored. With everyone with their hands out, can't really blame people for trying to get what they can. Breathe life into me. It's a shame most can't save themselves, just without the ability to. Conspiracies exist, like faith is. The best ones are always the unproven ones, whether the shit is real or not. The flaws of ideologies and branches of any philosophy is one way to undermine, to develop one's thinking, never to live to regret what I'm going to see. Now junkies on the street confront me out on the street. It's a fucking obligation, like I got to fulfill, expose some shit. That explains everything. But I still love pissing off the middle class. I'll violate their graves. I'll never slip or stumble, spit it slow. I'll give my sobriety back to the critics. Mix in some Tupac, Warhol and Keats. I'm no fucking love child. Look how I got your unsatisfied wife rocking it to it. I'll spit the illest shit. I haven't fully sold myself for fortune and fame. To my surprise, my fire still hasn't flickered out at the age of 30. My shoulders hold up so much. Martin Bowen poetry. I spit it up for real. Fuck around and start a riot. Spit up and squeal, spit up and get up and feel, 'cause it's real. Wanna duct tape and rape me? I'll curse them, send some demons on them, hope God's with them. A lot of people stay heated, but most stay bluffing, sitting on the roof, howling at the moon, resentments encouraging me to kill. The path to the promised land, always past the lands of hellish emotions, where all hope is most abandoned. Hence had a covenant. But he ran out into the street with a gun, screaming that they were trying to kill him. Dying is the refund for those who exchange their soul for their passion desires to die themselves. My favorite lesson taught down to by older mystics: when one reaches illumination, one loses paradise. With no virgins in sight, I've got nothing to do. Illumination is the place where you can gain knowledge that there's none, but you can take care of yourself. You discover that you're God you had all along sought, and that you have no redeemer but you. The most dangerous person isn't the individual. It's the one who can transcend, being whole and free, their mind providing new knowledge. It's the most dangerous book in the world. The mind that's original and able to think, providing new teachings without backing from this world. Bless the mystical gypsies in the penitentiaries, soldiers of the century, directly organized to analyze mankind's crimes as the rapture hits. They'll be out looking for you. You'll remain dead wrong, even when you're long gone, paid the price, none to service. Got to be careful, forlorn anything earthly. Time passes over the duration of life. Put fear in your place. Give you wisdom to run with. I live for what I think of myself, what constitutes as an individual. Is it true that it's only the strong survive? For I am capable of anything. Doing time for my bad decisions in the guilt and shame that I feel can commit both virtue and evil. Life is a mystery. Trusting those who smile in my face is a no-no. We all die one day. Sin, vices, some of personal desires, just derived from personal character traits. It's not the devil, though. When meeting the devil, it's generally disguised as something that presents itself as what one always wants, or at least pretends to be right for you. It's often as one will turn away what's meant to be, not to paint the devil on the wall as the finest trick he has. Tricking one that sin, vices, desires, defects of character are natural for you, as much as he tricks you that he doesn't exist. If one continues to make mistakes, being wrapped